Hey gang, Uncle Todd and Sunny here, and we're going to go over episode 2 of Stranger Things for this season. Well, we left off last week with the Demogorgon. I know I kept calling it the Gormagon, but it's the Demogorgon. My bad. Anyway, it was going after Holly, Mike's younger sister, and it tries to grab her. There's a struggle, and she gets out, away, and runs to the bathroom where her mother is making a bubble bath. And at first she thinks she had a dream, but then she's hearing all the crazy noises and everything. And then the lights start flickering. So they gotta hide. They hide under the water of the bathtub, in the bathtub, because it's got that layer of suds on top. So Demogorgon smashes in, goes around, smashing stuff. Now, the lights and the commotion have alerted Ted Wheeler, the father, who was outside driving golf balls. I think he had a 7 iron. I don't think he was using a 9, but it doesn't matter. I think 7 because he was chucking them out there. Anyways, he goes inside to see what all the hubbub's about, which alerts the Demogorgon, who goes after him, and he puts a pretty good fight with that iron. He's whacking it and whacking it, and it just swipes him, cuts him wide open down the middle, and sends him through a wall. Well, this gives Karen and Holly a chance to run off, and fortunately, Demogorgon, he's really quick. Excuse me, Taz got a plastic bag wrapped around himself again. I will never understand his addiction to grocery bags. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. The Demogorgon catches up to him in the kitchen, and Karen grabs the wine bottle she'd been drinking. She pours some drinks out, smashes it, and in total Mama Bear fashion, just starts going at the Demogorgon. Now, if you remember, Nancy and Elle were racing there, and they get there, and they rush inside, and they find Karen just, she got her throat opened. It's bad. And they both take off their jackets, and they're trying to stop the bleeding, and that's when they notice there's an opening to the upside down in that room by a door. Nancy and Elle look at each other, and Nancy says, "Go." Because it's obvious. Holly's been taken. And right before it closes, Elle heads into the upside down. By that time, Mike has arrived. They call the ambulance. Both parents are alive, and they're taken to the hospital where Karen's immediately taken in. They're both taken into surgery, and they've got to wait. And they're going back and forth, accusing each other. You weren't taking this seriously. Well, you weren't this, and that's the matter. And then Lucas reminds them what day it is. It's the 3rd. The 6th was the day Will got abducted 7 years ago. 7 years, 5 years ago. I'm not sure. Wait a minute. Never mind. Anyways, now Steve and Jonathan, who were in the van trying to track Hopper, they of course lost the signal when the power went out at the station, and their car stalled out. All their power got sucked too. I'm assuming from the signal connection. Luckily, they find a good Samaritan who gives them a jump. And right before they take off, at first they argue. Nancy has informed them of what's happened at the house. Steve's off going to the hospital. Jonathan is like, nope, we have to continue with the mission, otherwise we'll lose Hopper. And while they argue on that, Dustin shows up, looking pretty bad. Steve immediately knows. He's been, of course, egging on the bullies, and they struck back. And Dustin's like, nope, fell off my bike. And Steve's like, yeah. So they're arguing back and forth until Jonathan tells them both to shut up. Can't look for a signal with them like that. Okay, now we go to the station where Robin and Joyce, right? Joyce, are looking at the wiring, and it looks like they just blew out some fuses. So Robin goes to get some fuses. Joyce talks to Will, and Will's explaining he was seeing through the Demogorgon's eyes. And Robin comes back in with the new fuses and postulates that Will is like an antenna. And when, the Demogorgons or Vecna, whichever, are in close enough range, he picks up the signal. Now, Will wants to use this to try and track down where Holly is in the Upside Down. Joyce is like, no, too dangerous. Can't let you do it. Holly gets the power back up and running, and Joyce is trying to contact Hopper when Robin jumps on him and goes, oh, that red light. That means the flux capacitor's back offline. And she grabs Will. I'm going to need your help to put to get it back online. And he pulls her out. She pulls him out, and he's confused because he's seen Back to the Future. Radios don't have flux capacitors. He helped Dustin set most of this stuff up. And she's like, yeah, that was for your mom. Nothing wrong with the radio. Your plan is right. We need to do this. I was like, you're right. So they sneak out. In the Upside Down, Elle cannot get a fix on Holly. Something's blocking it. But she is seeing the blood trail of the Demogorgon because, remember, Karen lit into him. So, she's tracking. And then she hears something coming. And she hides. And when it comes around, she hits it with one of her mental blasts. Turns out it's Hopper. She apologizes because he's knocked pretty far down. And he's upset. What is she doing in here? Well, he doesn't care that she's looking for Holly. She shouldn't be coming down here. It's too dangerous. Well, she's like, too bad. I'm here now. And she goes back to tracking. And Hopper is bitching all the way about, this isn't going to work. Da, 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 da. And Elle is ignoring him. Well, that is until he almost falls over. That's when she realizes he's been injured by the Demogorgon back during the wreck. And so, thankfully, Max had given her some first aid tips. And so she's knowing how to do some makeshift first aid on him. And it is here they have a heart-to-heart. And we learn that, like Joyce is with Will, he is with Elle. Overprotective. Joyce lost Will once. She doesn't want to lose him again. Hopper lost a daughter already. cancer. He doesn't want to lose a second daughter. And Elle understands this, but they have to do this. Hopper agrees, and they continue tracking. Back at the hospital, parents are out of surgery, but doctor won't let them be seen in. Dad's in a coma. Mother's still in recovery. Besides, she can't even talk. Her larynx is damaged. It's going to take time before that. Well, that's not good enough for Nancy. Mike, on the other hand, having spotted in the children's area a copy of A Wrinkle in Time, remembers that's the book Holly is always reading. And there's a character in it, Mrs. Whatsis. And Holly's imaginary friend is Mr. Whatsis. And what if he is real? And maybe he can help them find Holly. They got to talk to their mom. Get back to that. Now, we come to a funny bit where our terrific trio of Jonathan, Steve, and Dustin are trying to pick up the signal. They get a signal, but Dustin identifies it as it's not their signal. It's not on the right wave band or whatever. It's probably from the military. That's when Joyce is able to contact them, and she asks them if they're having any interference from the flux capacitor being down. To which all three of them at once just kind of, and turn and look at the radio. But they're sure, nope, they're fine. They're not getting that. Because again, these are all young people. They probably all went and saw Back to the Future when it came out a couple of years before this. The house, the Wheeler house, has been locked down by the military. And here's a little bag lover. Yeah. And although Nancy told the EMTs and the police this is how she found it, just she was alone, but there's two jackets, one a bit smaller. Suspicious. So they bring up the camera footage in the area, and they go to Dr. Cray and say, look, yeah, it's a picture of that looks like it could be Elle in the car with Nancy. Cray's like, yeah, well, we've had sightings before. And the soldier says, no, she's here. Well, that gets Cray's attention. Now, Will and Robin end up where he had his first vision, where he got dizzy. And that's when Will has an epiphany. He wasn't seeing through a Demogorgon. And he knows why he was spinning around. So they head to the school and the merry-go-round. Here's where we're going to get a bit of cross-cutting. We'll get with Elle first. She and Hopper come upon a wall. I'm talking Great Wall of China wall. It goes up for what seems like forever. Goes out both ways for seems like forever. Looks absolutely mountainously thick. Stop trying to chew my cord. Okay, yeah. Chew away. They're not getting past it, and that explains why she can't get a lock on Holly. Cutting back to the hospital. Nancy drags Will down to the janitorial area, where she has Will put on a patient smock, and she puts on a candy striper outfit, and they're able to sneak past the doctors and nurses who won't let them in to see her mother because she's just a candy striper helping a patient get some exercise, which happens at hospitals, having been in surgery myself. Anyway, they get into the mom's room and manage to wake her up, and though she can't talk, she can write, and they start asking her questions about Mr. Whatsit. What has Holly told her? Well, what did the teacher tell her? Well, the teacher did not see Holly talking to anyone. Can you describe him? Did she tell Karen what Mr. Whatsit looked like? Tall, attractive, in a suit, with a pocket watch. And he has a first name, Henry. At which point, getting to Will, he's realizing at the merry-go-round he did not connect with the Demogorgon. He connected with Vecna himself. And he glimpses Holly meeting Vecna in the schoolyard. He gets her on a bus. He takes her to a house and assures her she'll be safe there, and he will make sure all the other kids that are in danger will be there and safe as well, and shuts the door. Who is it? Why, it's Henry, aka Vecna. That was his house, if you remember from the previous season when we learned all about his history. That is the house where he attacked his parents, and that's where we leave it. Another good episode, another lot of action, some comedy. No fighting yet, but that opening, that was pretty intense with both the mother and father trying to fight off the Demogorgon. As annoying as Ted Wheeler can be, when the chips are down, he always comes through like a good father. And of course, Karen, for all of her faults as well. Chips are down, she's a good mother. And people are coming to understandings about things, although pretty sure Joyce is going to be mad that the kids ran off and put themselves in danger, but if they're going to fix this, it's going to have to happen. And Dustin and Steve, they are heading for a blowout, I think. Well, Steve and Jonathan had a little heart-to-heart too, although did not have as good an ending as Elle and Hopper did, because basically Jonathan is recognized. Steve is trying to outdo him to impress Nancy, who he still carries a torch for, and it's getting really annoying. And Steve's like, I don't know what you're talking about, and changes the subject. But yeah, nobody's stupid here. So, good follow-up. Looking forward to the next episode. Only 2 more until the break. If I space this out correctly, I should finish the 4th one about a week before the, week or two before the last season starts. Don't know if I'm going to go see the final episode at the theater or not. That's, have to think on that. But I got time, right? Anyways, please hit like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.